Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We're thrilled to death that you are listening to our show, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Tony, it's good to see you. As soon as we leave here, I'll be missing you. Until we meet again.
That's a dirty, filthy lie. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.
Yes, I know.
In jail.
We are on the cusp of that. And, we've got a great guest. That's the biggest announcement that we have of the entire show. Guest, who are you?
Jeff Schroeder.
Jeff, you are back.
What is this, 8?
No. Ready, Tony? Number 9.
Number 9.
Number
wow.
9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
That's it. Yes, that officially tops the charts for.
You are the official race leader.
Yeah.
There's nobody even close, right?
No, there isn't, and I like that there's a hint of pride in that.
Well, I feel like I'm almost at this point. I'm almost like I'm a co-host.
Well,
yeah, you're up there. You're up there. And Jared's like, hey, wait a minute, that's not fair. No, I was there first.
No, but in all honesty, because I think the last time you guys gifted me that amazing cameo from Robert Fripp.
Yes.
And I've showed that to so many people, and I mean this in all sincerity. It was his message. I mean, did you get a chance to see it?
Yeah, I teed it up.
I thought it was so cool.
He said, "What do you want to? What is it about this guy?" And I told him the whole thing.
It was incredible. It was so moving. When it came through, I know I told you this, but when it came, I couldn't believe it. I said, "There's no way. Are you kidding me? Like, this is like no one's I mean, I've been lucky enough in life to have done like some awesome things. And so you've gotten like whatever, really nice free guitars. Yamaha has built me so many like crazy nice guitars and nice amps that people have given me for free and all this kind of stuff. Like, you know, things that when you're a kid, you're like, I want these things.
You even got a Guitar Knobs t-shirt.
A few of them. and a hoodie too.
Yeah.
A hoodie. And the underwear. I'm wearing those right now.
Nice. the mesh ones, right?
Yeah. Breathable. Yeah. No, but that Robert Fripp cameo was by far one of the best gifts I've ever received in my life. Really, it was really
that's awesome.
Because he's, as a musician and an artist, not only, well, let me say that you guys know me well enough to know that that's someone that means a lot to me.
Yes.
And then number 2, that he's someone who doesn't know me, but just through your interactions through the site to know, like, okay, because he's someone with music and life experience that he knew exactly what to say. And it was a truthful message. It wasn't any like fake stuff, because I think he understood the decision and everything. So it was. I mean, I don't mean to get emotional here, but it was very moving and touching. And I've showed it to so many people. Like, you got to see this. It can't be. And we talk about it all the time. Like, remember Robert said that.
Well, next time it'll be Brian Eno.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Right.
Well,
in person.
It's great to hear that. You never know how things like that are going to land, and I mean, we couldn't have asked for any better affirmation of that.
No, Robert did a fantastic.
Yeah.
He was just hit the nail on the head.
So sweet.
He really did.
So genuine and wicked intelligent. I mean, just all you had, if you didn't know anything about Robert Fripp and you watched that, this is like bang, 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 those 3 things in spades.
But the best, obviously what he said was incredible, but maybe even the best thing about it is that the guitar riff he's playing at the beginning is so good that he's just playing these like kind of power chords, but it's just the way he's doing it. It's just so funny. It's just so good. I mean, it's
with
incredible.
the vest and tie too.
Well, of course.
Yeah, I have it. I still have it on my phone. I have it on my hard. I got it like in multiple places.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Did you ever send him a note or anything?
No. I don't know if it's possible, or I don't remember, but no, I didn't.
No. Okay.
Next time.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'm sure there are ways, but I do believe that because that was sent to you, I think you can actually like leave messages. Okay. Yeah. But anyways, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
That's all up to you, Jeff.
It's interesting because I've had, the opportunity over my music career to meet some of my heroes, and it's always like a catch-22. I mean, because you're like,
yes.
do you want to meet Steve Vai or Eddie Van Halen or either of these people? And you're like, wow, of course you do. But at the same time, then they kind of lose like their mythical status a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Especially if even if they're whatever, like super kind and gracious, but it's just, I kind of like to have that I'm like with Robert, I'm like, he's such an inspiration. I just want to kind of leave him up there on the pedestal.
Yeah. I think that's totally fair. There have been a couple instances that we've talked about, just through friends and stuff where, you have the opportunity and I mean, I just am like, nope, I can't. I'm not gonna ruin that. I'm not gonna ruin that. Heaven forbid it turns out bad, or just worse, it kind of closes the. It kind of pops the bubble a little bit,
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah. We had the opportunity. We were trying real hard when Peter Hook came to town, and we had Jack on, Jack Bates, who's, for those who don't know, he's Peter Hook's son, Peter Hook of Joy Division, New Order, and Peter Hook and the Light. And Jack was touring as bass with Jeff in the Pumpkins. Now everybody's caught up. Anyways, I called Jack.
I thought Peter was supposed to be on it. That's what I was told.
Well, that's what the plan was.
That's right. Yeah.
And that didn't happen. And I was like, oh man, that would have been so great. But then when we were at the venue, we kind of like went side stage a little bit, and Peter Hook was just kind of like, getting ready with the intro of the song, and he kind of turned around, and then he looked over at me, and Jack said something to him, and Peter Hook just kind of like, he gave me a wink and a nod and a smile, and then turned back to the crowd and was like, "That's it. That's good enough. I'm home free. I'm home free."
Yeah.
Acknowledgement. That's cool.
Yeah, Peter. I mean, Peter and Jack are both great, but Peter Hook is just really kind and gracious, and I mean, I can't say enough positive things. And I was lucky enough to play with him numerous times. Like I played with the Light a few times, and then just always cool. And being on stage with him is just such a treat. And hearing that, when you get to hear that bass and those bass lines like coming from the amp, you're like, wow.
Yeah, it's like, incredible. This is real. What?
I mean, that's like, that's they don't, it's they don't make them like that anymore. It's very few and far between where you find musicians that have such a singular voice, where they have such you hear one or two notes, and
exactly.
You're like, there it is. And especially with a lot of new modern music that is, who would have thought, a band like New Order, maybe more than Joy Division, it's just their aesthetic and style is so pervasive in a lot of modern kind of say indie type of music. And that kind of those types of bass lines, those type of bass sounds are just pervasive in the culture. So it's just incredible that I mean, I think that says it all. That's like his influence is just phenomenal. Is just huge.
Yeah. Well, that's a great way to start the show off. I like it. This is going to be fun. Yeah, I went and met with Drew when I was out in Arizona.
Oh, that's right, Foppy. Yeah.
So I was hanging out with him, and
he's the best. He's the nicest, sweetest, hardest working guy out there.
We sat out on a patio and talked for almost 3 hours.
Cool.
It was great, and a fair amount of that. And we were talking about you and like touring and blah 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 and all this stuff, and I was just kind of wondering because I keep seeing things pop up, and I'm like, geez, I wonder what I was doing, what's going on, blah blah blah, and I don't want to. It's weird if you're like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? So I said, well, let's just make this official.
Yeah.
Just for maybe those who haven't listened to the previous episodes, maybe you're just now joining. Jeff, can you just give us the quick one floor elevator spiel on who you are?
Who am I? Well, I was born in 1970. I'm just kidding. My name is Jeff Schroeder. If you didn't pick that up from the description on whatever you're listening to. This podcast from. But I guess most people know me from I was in the Smashing Pumpkins for about 17 years or so, from 2007 to 2023. And so then I've recently quit. I quit. I guess that's the way you say I quit. So I left the band in about 2 years. It was October, November of 2023. I can't remember exactly when we made the official
announcement. I think we
had
you on June of 24. So that would have been a little bit of time to, marinate.
Yeah. So since that time, I've just honestly, I've just been doing a lot of different things because it's kind of like, hey, I have all this freedom now. I have all this time and just haven't wanted to be tied down to anything too serious. So it's just like, it's the end of like it is similar to a relationship. So
a rebirth.
Yeah. And so I think a lot of, I've been spending the last couple of years just figuring out what I want to do, so, but that's getting too far down there. So that's basically what I've done. So I was in the Smashing Pumpkins, and then I'm not anymore. And I dabble in a bunch of different things, some producing, some studio work, doing some new band music with different projects that we'll talk about very shortly. Yeah.
Get all up in that.
A regular dabbler, if you will.
Yes. And you left out, honestly, one, how do I...
I see where this is going. I think I see where this is going.
You are an absolutely fantastic guitar player. I
was just thinking you're just like, I weasel my way onto this show every few months.
Well, that was next. You used your prowess.
We've been hypnotized by your
keep
charm.
shoehorning yourself into this show here. It's you're just very, very good, and I think. It's one thing to say I was in this band, but it's another thing to actually like watch and hear you play.
Thank you.
It is very inspiring and just awesome. So that's the biggest reason.
Yeah.
That
hell yeah.
Yeah. That you're who you are. Anyways, we're gonna do our normal dealios here. We got a couple of announcements. We're gonna talk about what's going on this week, and then we'll do you have a new 4 on the floor for us?
I certainly do.
All right.
I got like 22 on the floor.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. But I do have some things I would love to share.
Excellent. You might be saying out there like, okay, why 9 times? 9 times because genuinely we really, really like talking with Jeff.
And cats have 9 lives.
Cats have 9 lives that have nothing to do with Jeff. But the other reason is you're always pushing your own frontier, and I think that makes it very fun to talk about and find out the new things that you're doing, and you're not just resting on your laurels.
We have never been bored.
Yes, so neither will anybody else. Onward and upward. Tony?
Yes.
Announcement.
Sadly, I learned today that
boy,
Jimmy...
Boy, you really made a hard left there.
No, Jimmy Cliff, reggae legend, probably even more so, certainly pre-Bob Marley, passed away.
Oh.
And so I was kind of, it's nice to see a lot of the tributes that are coming up right now. And he lived a good long life, which was great. But unfortunately,
The harder they fall, so harder they come. Soundtrack. Oh my goodness, it's so.
Yeah, I was gonna say for those who haven't watched that film, it's incredible.
Yeah,
and listen to the soundtrack. That's a great way to introduce yourself to reggae that's not Bob Marley. Nothing wrong with Bob Marley, but I think he was such a dominant figure that a lot of other people tended to be overlooked. And when I was turned on to that movie and that soundtrack, it opened up a whole new world. Yeah,
fantastic. And him and like Peter Tosh, and it's like there's a whole bunch. If you get it, if you like Bob Marley, you gotta check out the other stuff around there because it's just fantastic. Yep. Okay, go ahead, Tony.
So I was just gonna say, definitely the movie. Check that out if you have a chance. That was his big, breakthrough introduction to the United States. When he did that, and he also I think recorded 3 or 4 songs for the soundtrack. But I think a lot of people immediately when they think reggae, Bob Marley. Well, Bob was great. Yeah. But I think Jimmy Cliff's stuff was maybe more approachable, more commercial.
Oddly.
Yeah.
Preceding Marley, which kind of like really kind of kicked the doors open.
Yeah.
But those guys were like, the people in the UK were like hip to that stuff way before.
Oh yeah.
We here were.
Yes.
It's all English. It's fine.
So that's all I got to report. So
okay. Yeah. Interesting. When you think Jimmy Cliff, what is a phrase, a song phrase that comes to your mind first? Ready, go.
Well, harder they come, the harder they fall.
Oh, okay. I like the Johnny, are you too bad?
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh man, the vocals in that are just so flipping good. Now I'm gonna listen to that on the way home. Thanks, Tony.
There you go. There's my recommendation.
Alrighty. I have a quick announcement. We finally got our replacement shirts in. I've been looking for a different shirt provider.
This is Paul Westerberg replacement shirts?
Yeah. Yes. And we had M2 Labs actually gave us a shirt and we're like, whoa, what's this?
Yeah.
And we loved it. And then I had a hard time finding it. And then I found it. And then we got them. And they're here.
Yeah.
So thank you so much to the supporters on Patreon that have been waiting so patiently for these shirts to come in. And I packaged up a whole bunch of them.
Nice.
And got them out as fast as I could. And so I thank you so much for your patience. But, if you've been teetering on like, I don't know if should I support it? We don't sell these. The only people that have these shirts in the world after 440, 8? What is this? Something like that. 7 or 8, something like that. Over 400 episodes, we've given one to, I believe, each and every single guest. Don't hold me to that. I'm pretty sure that's about as where we were with that. Maybe we missed a few, first 50 because we didn't do shirts yet or something like that. And also to the supporters of the show. So if you're a guest on the show or you're a supporter on the show, you probably have a shirt. I didn't put them up for sale just because I don't know. I kind of wanted it to be a little special like that.
Nice.
So if you want one of these shirts, The best way to do that is to go to Patreon and sign up and help support the show.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I'm not a retail store man.
And these are nice shirts. These are what I would call the fall winter weight shirts.
They're really nice weight and very soft, very comfortable.
Yep.
Not athletically fitting, and certainly not the Gildan box cut T-shirt thing, scratchy town. Anyways, that's what I got for that. Now let's find out what's going on in our music world this week. We're going to kick it off with Tony and then hear from Jeff.
Okay. So this week, I watched, we talked at our last episode, I think we were talking about loopers and things like that.
Yes.
And Ed Sheeran's name came up.
Yeah.
Well, there is a new 1 hour and change show on Netflix called Ed Sheeran One Shot. And it was directed by Philip Barantini, who did the series Adolescence. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing about that series was it was a continuous camera shot. Uh-huh. So there were handoffs of cameras. They'd put it on a drone. It would shoot over to go into the next scene. So there are no cuts in that. So the whole concept with this Ed Sheeran one is he was going to, it was somewhat Hard Day's Night-ish. I mean, it was obviously pre-planned and went into a lot of things. And so it wasn't as spontaneous as it, you would be led to believe. Mm-hmm. But it was all done in one shot, no cuts. And that part of it was really cool. It was, he leaves the concert hall that he's doing stuff and he hops a cab, goes to the High Line, plays this song for an engagement party, and then hops on a hop off bus, goes over to a rooftop thing. And I mean, it's in some ways it's a little cheesy because, a guy with an acoustic guitar walking around New York City and, people taking selfies and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I really liked the way the whole thing kind of came together. Mm-hmm. And then even better is there's how they made it. Yeah. Documentary is, 15 minutes or so. It's well worth watching too. But yeah, that's what I did.
That's fun. And the coolest part about that is they rigged it so like as soon as it's done, it starts again.
Yes. You have to push the button though. You use the foot pedal.
Yeah. Excellent, Tony. Jeff, how about yourself? What's going on in your music world?
So, can you explain to me just again one time? Just it could be literally anything.
Anything.
Wait. Jeff, you've done this 9 times, man. 9 times. Yes, it can be anything.
Okay.
Short answer.
Yeah. So, gosh, how this is so one of the things that I've been doing. I guess it's been, let me see, a year and 7 months, 8 months is I've been very seriously taking classical guitar lessons. Mm. And so I'm thinking about pursuing an advanced degree in classical guitar. So I've been like crazy preparing for an audition video to make shoot audition video for. Wow. So I've been going crazy trying to play some of this stuff. It's obviously extremely hard and demanding. So I've been taking private lessons.
Did you not have a place in the backyard where you can put a metal pole and kick it day after day? Was that just not an option? Or
I know. It's like find the most punishing thing that you can do with rugby. So so I've been So the last week I've been really grinding hard on this stuff.
Wow.
So,
let me ask you this, Jeff. What classical guitar are you using?
That's a good question. So, how this all started was I was just one day kind of going like, I don't know what to, I'm looking around because I have actually, I built like a pretty nice, studio to work in my house, and it's very well organized, and I was looking around all the gear, like tons of pedals and stuff, and then I noticed like, oh, you know what? I got that I felt overwhelmed.
It's an Esteban. Just
Yeah,
say it.
I felt overwhelmed. No, I would.
If only.
No, and so I was like, and I have just a very, I had a not very nice student Yamaha that they had gifted me at one point. And because I needed a nylon for something, and they're like, "Oh, we can give you whatever one of these." But they had actually set it up really nice. But it was just a student model. But it was good. So I said, you know what? I'm going to actually, I think I'm going to take some classical guitar lessons. I want to try it. I want to see. I dabbled in. I bought some books before, but I'm like, I want to do the real thing. Yeah, I want to see what it's like. And I have a friend. She goes by the name of Ji Young Kim. She teaches at it's in Bloomington, Indiana. It's a university but she teaches in the music department, the music conservatory. She's honestly like a crazy classical guitar rock star. She's just incredible. And so I sent her a message on Instagram. I'm like, hey, I actually want to take some classical lessons. Can you hook me up with a good teacher in LA? Because I don't know how to even find someone. She goes, don't worry. She sent me 3 names. I chose one of them and I just started taking lessons. So, but after taking a few months of lessons, like, okay, I need to get a better guitar because I could tell like this guitar doesn't have enough kind of dynamic range. It's a student guitar built to like not crack, for someone who doesn't take care of it, like a kid or something like that. So, I have a very good relationship with Yamaha still, and they own Cordoba.
Yep.
Guitar, and so I got a Cordoba C12 with a spruce top.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like an entry level real guitar. I mean, it's not. I didn't go get like a $10,000 luthier made classical guitar because I feel like you got to be able to really play the thing. But I was like, I kind of need something that is a little more responsive than the Yamaha I had. So so it's great. It's honestly, it's a really, really, really fantastic guitar.
Yeah, but that's the Cordobas. I mean, I've had friends that work there, and then when the Cordoba bought Guild, and then Yamaha bought Guild and Cordoba, so a lot of the people have transferred over. But I mean, I always thought that even the overseas made Cordobas are very respectable. I mean they did. I think they started up a custom shop. I think in Ventura.
Yes,
somewhere up there.
That is correct. Yes, they do. And so I have the C12 is like their top of the line import guitar. Yeah,
It's impossible not to hear the name Cordoba without thinking of Ricardo Montalban.
Exactly.
With red Cordoba interior.
Rich Corinthian leather.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But that's been a whole world of it was such a foreign
what was the impetus? Thank you.
Good word.
Thank you, brain.
That's a 25-cent word today.
I think because I've had a few moments in this kind of I've had a few moments in life where I've been at a certain place, and I think this kind of very much ties in with the show, which is, in the Smashing Pumpkins, I had the circumstances of the band, the aesthetics of the band, dictated certain tonalities and gear that I needed to use to do my job and to do it well. And obviously within that you have flexibility, but you're like, hey, I need something that's can play high gain really well. I need this amp, these pedals, these, so this is the gear that I'm going to use. Once I left the band and I'm like, okay, I've been living in this bubble for 17, 18 years. I don't know what do I want to do now? Like it's like almost like too many things, too many options. And so I think that's when I said I was looking around my studio. I'm like, oh my God, there's all these guitars, all these amps, all these pedals. Like, I thought, I kind of like the idea of the classical guitar because there's It's just
No
direct. There's
options.
nothing. It's just you play with your hands. And now I notice there are people like my friend Gigi. She plays with, actually, she has a pickup on her guitar and she plays through like pedals and laptop. And, there are people doing very progressive and creative things, but still predominantly people play. They don't even use a microphone. It's like you play places, it's pretty much unplugged. You have to just be quiet and listen. And so I kind of like that idea of kind of getting back and getting direct, because I feel like you can make large scale improvements to your sound and style without having to use anything. You get really into the very foundational aspects of tone production. And so I just decided to take a couple lessons. And it's funny because the first thing, and so I'm studying with this guy. His name is Matt Greif, and he's an incredible player and just a great teacher, and I mean a sweet human being, like really, really kind and patient. And but he did, and he's in this thing, this I guess they're called the Los Angeles Guitar Quartet, and there's a bunch of famous classical guitarists, that are in that. And but he did ask me, he goes, "Okay, what do you want out of this? Are you just a rock guy, and do you want to learn to play a couple pieces just because for fun, like you just want to do it, or do you want to learn how to play classical guitar, like the real technique?" And of course I said, we got to do it the real way. So you go through got to sit the certain way, use whatever a footstool or a guitar support. I actually use a guitar support because I'm old, and like the footstool, actually after playing for a few hours, your back starts hurting. So I use the guitar support, and you whatever, grow your nails out and do the whole thing. So yeah.
Wow, that's a commitment.
It's addicting. It's addicting.
It kind of reminds me. One of my favorite books of all time is Musashi, Miyamoto, and the short, very, very, very short version is a man tries to become the best version of himself by mastering all the other things that the other people are best at. So he goes around Japan, and this is in feudal Japan, 1500s, something like that. And, he's like, I want to be the best, and not just, as a title, but for myself. So if I'm going to beat the guy who's the best at the spear, I have to figure out how to do that. If I got to beat the guy who's the best at the longsword, I got to figure out how to do that. So he has to master the other person's style in order. Anyways, because, and I bring that up not just because you talk about classical guitar, but I remember, you were really heavily pursuing jazz guitar too, which is,
that's right.
I did, yes.
Spaghetti fingers. So it's very commendable and very, that's pretty inspiring, man.
Oh, and let me add two comments on how, because you did ask me how I came to this. Now, how I came to this decision, it actually made me remember two things. Is a big part of it, and why. I mean, and I love studying jazz guitar, and that's actually, I had my George Benson, my Ibanez GB10 out with the pickguard you made for me, Tony.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. You did the replacement on that. And that's such a great guitar. But something that really attracted me to studying classical guitar is that it was something that I could do completely on my own. Is that, of course, there are classical guitar ensembles, but a large majority of the repertoire is designed and meant to be played by a solo guitarist. Yeah. And so you have the whole, if you play and study a piece, it's realized right there, where with jazz, you still got to find people to play with, and how it is, it's like you get into that inter-musician dynamic, which is, in the best case scenario is incredible. But then, a lot of times you're just dealing with with us musicians, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and as we all get older, it's harder and harder to find time. And, so then a lot of time in jazz practice, you're sitting playing to, backing tracks and whatever, not to compare, but I just wanted something that I could do completely by myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that was one of the things that really attracted to it. And then the other thing too was also, as I've been out playing a lot of, ambient experimental guitar solo shows, which those are improvised, but I've been doing a lot more compositions within it. I wanted to actually start getting into deeper levels of composition on the guitar, not like rock songs, but like pieces that are designed to be played specifically on the guitar.
Right.
Like that. So I felt like, well, this will be good just in that sense to learn how composers actually think of composing, melodically driven stuff on the instrument in that particular way.
Right.
So, so it's been, just a very eye-opening experience, and I'm totally overwhelmed and in over my head. Like, I mean, it's so hard. it's so hard.
And this is all, I mean, it's commendable because this is all in preparation for your One Man Yes tribute.
No, I'm no King Crimson. King Crimson.
Oh, you sure you don't want to wear a cape like Wakeman? Come on.
Yeah, King Crimson. King Crimson. We got to be. We're on Team Fripp here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Bruford was in both bands.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, boy, oh boy, if we're just breaking all the molds. We're just extending our upfront.
Oh, Todd, what about you?
But that's, oh no, I'm not. I'd much rather listen to Jeff. I'm sure everybody else would too.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm gonna in somewhat the same vein. My week, actually, the biggest thing happened last night, a couple nights ago. So I guess it's still in the week. That matters not. Okay, so I was having a discussion with my daughter who was spending a lot of time on her phone. And I was like, grr, right? And because she's wicked talented, she's very creative, she can play, she's very musically talented too.
She's the bass player, right?
She plays viola. So she can play like an hour without looking at paper. It's bananas.
Okay.
And I was just like, I just had a conversation with her and I was like, I see you when you're doing the things that you're good at. Whether you're playing music, whether you're painting, she loves painting, she loves making things, she does costume stuff and all kinds of things. And I'm like, you are different when you're doing that. And she said, well, I can't just always just make that happen. And I said, yeah, but if you are in the mode of being in it, that's the only time that really will happen. And lo
and behold,
I went downstairs and I said, well, I gotta go take care of all these shirts and stuff. And I passed by my pedal board on the ground and I looked at it and I went over and I went to the computer and I was like, and I glanced back at it and I said, listen to the universe, Todd. And I went over and I plugged it in and a whole song just poof came out. Like just I yelled, I'm like, get down here. and I brought it down and I said, remember what we just talked about? Listen to this. And I put the headphones on her and I did it. I recorded it. I played it once and I recorded it once. And she goes, that just happened. I said, yeah, I didn't try to make that happen. That's how that stuff often does happen. And it was a great, like, thank goodness that happened because it really sealed the deal for my argument. And then she went upstairs and I said, well, I'm gonna put it away. So I started to take it off and my finger hit the string and started winning and went ding, and I said, oh, that's cool. Ding, 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 ding. And then poof, another one comes out.
Wow.
And I'd been into like kind of fighting it for a couple weeks. I'm like, man, and nothing's coming to me. in the matter of 15 minutes, 2 brand new Valentino songs were like born right there. And simply because I said, I don't know, but I'm going to at least turn the activity on somehow. So I called her back down and I went, get back down here.
There's another one. That's so cool. That's so cool.
And it was great. And then I said, what do you think? What do you think this one should be called? And she goes, well, don't you normally name your ideas after food? And I was like, yes, that's true. And I said, but I'm running out of food. She goes, this one makes me feel like I'm in a black forest. And I'm like, boom, black forest. And then, so she got in on it a little bit. And
nice.
It was just great. So fortuitous.
It's your death metal song, Black Forest. Yeah.
This one's for my daughter. Anyways,
I love it.
In doing these things,
yes,
I required none of these things.
None of them?
None of them.
Why?
Because they were already on my board, Tony.
What are they?
This is the Tour Gear Designs patch cables.
They
made it possible for that board to come alive when I needed it to.
Yes.
So if you need your pedal board to come alive, you need to go to tourgeardesigns.com.
Yes.
Load up your cart.
Load it up.
Hit purchase. Don't worry. That's just the first step because it's going to say, are you sure you don't want to use the special code? What happens then, Tony?
Well, you type in the guitar knobs, all lowercase, all one word, and guess what happens?
You get 15% off.
15% off!
While it lasts.
Yes. Do it.
Go to tourgeardesigns.com. Get those things. Thank you to Tour Gear for sponsoring our Four on the Floor.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Four on the floor. Okay, Jeff Schroeder, 9-time world champion of Guitar Knobs podcast interviews.
Ding, 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 ding.
What is your, well, not quite 9th, but whatever it is, number 4 on the floor?
Okay, because, in, I guess, July, I'm trying to think when it was, July, I did a short West Coast tour with my friend Adam Miller, and we both played solo guitar sets. And, I used some backing tracks, but so I had to put together a rig for that and for the stuff that I've been kind of doing for these solo shows. And I've done some duo shows with my friend William Cashian from the band Future Islands, who he'd be great on this show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He played, yeah. So one thing that I've been using that's been a huge addition that I live on this thing. It's by I want to make sure I get they're called I think a Russian company, Soma Laboratory, and they make a lot of synth stuff, drum machines stuff, but they make this thing called the Cosmos. It's a looper, and it's called a drifting, or they call it a drifting memory station. So it's actually really big. It's
yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like almost like a 6 or 7 pedal spread there.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's maybe, I don't know, 1.5 feet long or something. Or, maybe
that's literally bigger than Ed Sheeran.
Yeah. But it's cool because if you use it as it comes shipped, it's not something that you can do like strict timed looping with, like Ed Sheeran, where he you play a rhythm part and then you play like an additional, a bass line over under the rhythm part, and then there's and then start looping things, and it doesn't work like that. It actually elongates and shortens and stretches the time, and so things come back at you much different, and so it's really good for kind of creating like ambient soundscapes, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of settings, algorithms, that you can use. And within those settings, there's 3 different kind of times that you use to that you can loop. There's like a short, medium, and a long. And there's a bunch of other stuff in it too, but I use that a lot. I got really attached to it. It's an incredible looper. So that's would be number one. Number two is actually another looper, and it's by a French company called Glou, Glou, and it's called the Lupe. And this is like one of the most advanced loopers that I think I've ever come across. It's really high tech, and I think it was somewhat based off of I think Gibson. They were branded under Gibson, but they were called the Gibson Echo. What was it? It was like Gibson made like a rack mounted looper. I can't remember. Maybe it's called the Echo. They called it the Echoplex, which I think is, let me see. I'm going to look this up so I make sure I get it. Even though because I know it was the Gibson Echoplex looper, which I know sounds funny because you would think like whatever at tape echo, but they're actually Gibson Echoplex is like a digital looper rack mount that had like a foot pedal. And so I think this French company
has like fake tape in it.
I don't know what has got it. I never actually used one either. But
I don't mean actually has fake tape, but I mean on the front it's got like the tape mess in an echo in a
Echoplex.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I think they took some of the features in that, and then a bunch of other stuff. So this thing you can do.
Wow.
Really cool things, and I've only spent a few months of getting to know it, and it's I think this is this is like a bit of a bigger project. But if you YouTube people using it, there's a few people that are just absolutely incredible with it. It's a very expressive.
It looks fun.
Pedal. Yeah. It's crazy because the Cosmos is a lot more just intuitive, and it's messy by design. It's for kind of creating soundscapey stuff. And I believe there's like this guy, you may not know who he is, but his name Tom York. I think when he plays with his band, the Smile. I think he's got
me there for a second. I was like, what?
I think he's got.
Tom York.
Yeah, I think he's got two of them. I think he might use them on his vocals.
Oh wow.
And stuff too. So that's like you within like an hour, you're like, you're creating cool stuff. And then, not to say that it's limited, but you sound pretty good on it a lot quicker. Where the Lupe is like you'll have something really good, and then you'll hit the wrong sequence of buttons, and you're just like, game over. Sorry. Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, so it takes a lot. It's a lot more getting used to, but that's something that that's kind of in that world. And then a third one that which I think people are familiar with these, is the microcosm hologram. I've been doing a lot of stuff with that.
You are a glutton for punishment, man.
No,
holy mackerel! Between the classical guitar and all these machines, holy moly!
Well, this is just because basically I don't have any friends anymore, so I have to play by myself. So it's whatever it takes to be able to be the one man show.
Yeah,
and then. So I've been, but I think that's a very popular pedal.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of overrode that. Would you mind saying that one more time?
The hologram microcosm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are their stuff is kind of all over. Like you see it all over the place. It's good. And then the fourth, I would say, is I want to put it, which is much more traditional. Is my he's become a friend of mine. His name is Evan Heyman, like Raymond, but with the H. And he has a pedal company called OC Pedal Company, which is where I'm from, Orange County, California, originally. And so I've been using predominantly, he made I call it more of an overdrive, but it's he calls it a hard clipper. It's a distortion. It's called the La Habra, which happens to be the city where I was from. La Habra,
that's
California.
cool.
Yeah, because I think this pedal started as him and I talking, and I asked him to make some, like, hey, can you try making me something like this? And then while he was making me something, he kind of came up with this idea based off of something that I'd asked him. So I think, I don't know. I mean, how he came up with La Habra, but I would think because maybe the discussion originally started with me, but I think it's loosely based off of a DoD 250, but it has more gain than one of those, or maybe. But it's funny because it doesn't actually have a gain knob. The gain is set at full blast, and then it just has a volume and tone. Yeah, but it's really, really good. I really like it for my looping stuff because when I get many layers and stuff, there's just a level of clarity in there, And so this kind of a bit of an expanded for that fourth place slot, because I do want to talk about, because Evan also makes another pedal that I've been like that I like too, and it's called the Buena Park Boost, which is just a few miles down the road from La Habra. Yeah, Buena Park, home of Knott's Berry Farm,
and the Wax Museum.
Oh yeah, the Ripley's, believe it or not. Yeah, that's right. And what is that place called? Medieval Times.
Oh yeah,
Medieval Times is there, and the Buena Park Boost is really cool. I think it's based off of the Alembic preamp that Jerry Garcia had in one of his Strats. I think it was called like the Stratoblaster or something like that. But it is kind of like a leave on, you can have on all the time type of pedal. What it does to your kind of signal is just kind of, it adds like this magic fairy dust type of thing. It's really nice. I love it for clean sounds.
Do you like that? For clean sounds, I was going to say, do you put it before or after your chain?
I put it at the beginning,
okay, and
but it does. There is a gain. There is a knob, like a boost knob on it, and so if you run it into like your amp that's already on the edge of breakup, you can definitely get your amp to get into distortion territory with it. It has a fairly significant amount of decibel boost on it.
That's cool. I am also really a fan of locale themed things. Like these are two places, like I know exactly where those are. Where they are, and people around there do. But it may not mean anything to anybody outside of California. But it's kind of go like, hey, I know that place. That's cool.
Yeah, I love it too, because I mean, for me, these are very much like those are. I mean, that's where my youth. Mm-hmm. Was. In fact, Buena Park used to have a big Tower Records.
Yes.
Massive,
big one.
A big, and it was great. And I waited, I don't know, must have been 3 hours to get Yngwie Malmsteen's autograph at that Tower Records.
That's cool.
Did you bring the donuts?
I should have, you know what I mean? It's like crazy because back then, I waited like 3 hours. Then you got like literally like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel maybe even less, And I want to give it, actually, and Evan actually made me, he made it and he gifted it to me because I asked if I could buy it, and they said, I'll just give it to you. Which he's a sweet guy, is that he built because I'm a big Boss DS1 fan because, it's such a controversial pedal, but a lot of my heroes like Satriani and Vi have used this pedal a lot in the past. And so, and I think also my very first guitar teacher who left like such a big just impression with me had one on his pedal board in 1987. You know what I mean? And it always just sounded amazing to me just because I was a kid, and I'm like wow, he makes the guitar sound so good. And so I think it's like a comforting thing. But Evan made one where he modded it and put he had some vintage germanium transistors that he put in it.
That's cool.
And so it is cool. And I was like, oh man, like what's it sound like? He goes, well, it still sounds like a DS1. And it's funny, it does. It sounds like a DS1, but I would say the notes, the distortion just has a little bit more bloom, little less gain, but a little more bloom to the notes, which I really like about kind of germanium clipping. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
that's cool. That's good.
and can I really quick? I'm so sorry. I'm very long-winded.
You're the guest. It's like
No.
really, you can just tap dance, and we're nothing we can do about it, man.
And I have it because I have like a parenthetical 4 on the floor, but it's
Absolutely, do it.
In theory, it actually is 4 pedals.
Okay.
So I'm learning this piece. It's called Vampire in French by a French composer called Tristan Murray.
Uh-huh.
And it's a avant-garde. It was, I think he composed it in 1987, and it's like an avant-garde. It was technically be considered a classical guitar piece, but it's basically like a avant-garde metal guitar kind of piece. And so
that's very off center from you. That's really weird.
I know, totally. When I found out this stuff existed, I was like, "Oh my god!" And it's funny because when I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but when you first hear it,
yeah,
and there's another piece too by a composer, George Lenz, that's kind of similar, but when I first heard it, it almost sounds like one of those shreds kind of clips where you're like this weird, messed up kind of guitar. But then when you actually try to learn it, you realize there's actually very advanced harmony going on and like actually difficult to play. But
who wrote this one?
This one is his name is Tristan Murray, Murail, and it's called Vampire, Vampyr. He's a French composer. But so I put together, because I'm learning how to play this piece for an audition later, and so I put together a little pedal board just for that.
All right.
Yeah, because in fact, it's funny because in the score, it actually has some suggestions for what you need to play it, which is so funny. I have to read it to you because it's actually really funny.
Okay.
Because when you hear people play it, people definitely it's like you need to. It's kind of metal guitar technique, but in the score, it actually says type of sound required, and this is what he wrote: the desired sound is rather like that of the solo guitar as played by Carlos Santana, Eric Clapton, which I thought is so funny, which is so funny because it's like when you hear it, it's like. It's
nothing like Santana or Clapton.
You don't want the Santana tone.
Yeah.
But for that piece, I have a script logo reissue Phase 90.
Okay.
MXR. And then I feel like this is a controversial one, but I love it. And this is a very underrated pedal. And I can't say enough good things about it, but a Vox saturator distortion. Do you know what those are? Do you guys know what those are?
I am not familiar.
No, I don't think so.
It was.
Oh yeah, okay.
The Joe Satriani. The Joe Satriani.
Ah, yeah, they're
yeah. Which is, I mean, people say, "Oh, it's just a DS one," but it's real. It I think maybe it's like kind of similar, but it's. I have to say it's actually better.
And for 50 or 60 bucks.
Yeah, seriously, you might want to buy them all, Jeff, because when this hits,
I have 3 of them. So I'm good. And I even have his Ice 9 overdrive too, which is honestly great overdrive pedal. But the Vox saturator is like, man, great pedal. Nice. And then I'm also have the Ernie Ball volume pedal that I have after that, because you have to do a couple quick things where you have to, gradually ease in the volume and stuff. So I like to put it after the distortion, so my swells are still super saturated and distorted instead of I don't want, because if you put the volume pedal before the distortion, it's going to clean up your distortion.
Yeah.
I want it to be full maximum gain, even if I bring the volume down.
Yes.
And I have the one. It's got the tuner built in.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, Ernie Ball sent that to me, and I thought, like, why? This is the dumbest, like, tuner on a volume pedal. I don't want it. It's so great having that tuner there. It's like the best thing. It's such a great invention. They totally nailed it on that. It's great having the tuner. And then I have the Earthquaker Devices Silos delay pedal. Have you guys ever used that?
I have not used the silos.
No.
It's
but that's
awesome.
the second or third time it's been mentioned in recent shows.
Yeah, I actually did some demo clips for them when that came out, but it's cool because it has 3 modes: a digital, analog, and then tape delay, and it just sounds really good. It's very musical. Jamie's got a great ear. I mean, he's a good guitar player himself, so I think that when he makes things, it's like those other touches of like, how does the delay sit against the music?
Yeah.
How does it, how does it react to different types of expression?
Aside from a delay in a vacuum kind of thing.
Yeah. So that's my my parenthetical. I called it 4 on the floor.
Yes.
Nice.
I really wish that the title of that song was actually Vampire in French. Like just the whole that'd be great. Man, oh man, we have just reaped loads of fun, great things from you in a very short amount of time, and we haven't even gotten to the big stuff yet.
Well, wait, Todd.
Oh man.
Because, I thought, I would just roll the list of all of the episodes that Jeff has been a part of.
Okay.
The first 8, not including this one.
Okay.
Episode number 37.
Yes.
Yeah, Jeff, you actually
I can't
beat me.
believe he took a chance on that. See, but here, I just want to point this out. This applies to a lot of things in life. Okay. I was paying attention to what was happening with the show, and I see his name pop up, and I'm like, wait a minute, that can't be the same Jeff Schroeder. And it was. And I said, there's no way he'd want to come on the show, but I'll never know unless I ask. And I did, and you did. So don't doubt yourself, people. You never know what's going to happen.
That's right. So I was going to say, you actually predated me by 2 episodes. My first episode was number 39.
So you're the second co-host, Jeff.
Well, the third.
So number 37, number 103, number 141, number 177, number 217, number 268, number 290, and number 370.
And number
447.
447.
This one.
Yeah.
Wow.
9.
Which was the one? Do you guys know which episode was the one that actually was there in person?
Oh, that would have.
That was with Drew.
Oh, we
right?
did it twice in person. Actually,
Yeah,
twice.
we did.
Twice in person.
Yeah.
They have the one with Drew, and then once it is at a different 2 different locations.
Yep.
Yeah.
One was
the
up
one
at
with Drew.
Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
One was in Cleveland, yes, with Jane's Addiction, and not with. I mean, when you guys are playing with Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
And yeah, so lots of good stuff there. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're liking this, there's plenty more in the backlog to go listen to. Jeff, we've obviously set this up at the beginning to cover off on like where is Jeff right now? Can you kind of get us up to speed, because I know that you've been very busy whilst wandering through the great vast new land out before you.
Yeah. So after I quit the band, like I said, I think we touched on, like, I started doing these other things, like taking classical guitar lessons and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I've also done a bunch of musical things. Like I had like a very short-lived, like I played a couple of shows with the band called Glass Bow that we wrote some songs and then played a couple of shows. But I just don't think I was like, I think I just wasn't really ready to like being a 24/7 band again.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't really commit to anything like this because I needed more time to just get out of the bubble and figure out like what do I want to do, where do I want to go, like I think it just takes some time to figure out. So but I did that, producing different artists around LA, and just mostly, I mean, I've gotten asked to do some bigger things for more, but sometimes I would say no just because the time commitment would have been like actually too much for me. There was a couple of things where I was like, that's just like a little too much like time. Like I think I had PTSD about having to spend like 12 hours, because especially when you're doing things that are like lower budget things, like you're trying to get a lot of work done in a short amount of time. And so like 10, 12-hour days in a studio just didn't seem that enticing to me. And I think what I had to learn from, I'm going to tack that point over there and come back to it before I say. And so, but then, so I would do more short term, like produce 1 or 2 songs for someone out here in LA, just people who would ask, our friends. And like I worked with my friend Izzy Outer Space. Her name's Isabel Baumgartner, super cool Swiss immigrant to the United States. Yeah, she's cool. Rose Hayes, my friend Kate. But I've done a few other things, and I've done a bunch of remixes for people, just kind of stuff that if it seemed like something that I would enjoy, I would do it. But I think I realized though in doing that and this is the point that I pinned over here, is that I realized that I spent a lot of time working on other people's music, and nothing wrong with that, and I realized that I need to focus on my own ideas, my own projects, so I think that's so I kind of eased off on pursuing producing gigs because I just didn't want to do that. And another thing too in LA, which is what a lot of people get asked to do, is like more commercial type things. Like, hey, you want to pitch an idea for this TV commercial? They're looking for something that sounds like
a name, like
The Strokes meets MGMT, or we want something that sounds like this, or blah blah blah. And I'm, as you can say, I'm too much of an idealist to like do things like that. I'm like, I don't want to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? I want to play Vampire by Tristan Murray. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
it's vampire in French.
It's vampire in French. I just was like, I need to figure out something else to do, where to point my ship. Yeah. And then the other thing I did is I think the last time I was on the show is I had put out a solo record, Metanoia, which is a double ambient record. So and then I played some solo shows doing that. Yeah. And I found that actually to be quite rewarding. And I was like, okay, I like this. I like this kind of, it's very uncomfortable space because it doesn't have all the accoutrements of like a rock band. It's not like, you don't have the power of the band. Like, you got to find like the right space, the right type of venues to do this kind of show, the right people to play with. And, certain situations where I had to learn to not play with, you know what I mean? And so that was been very rewarding. And so in doing those shows, about just coming up on a year, actually Glass Bow, we played a show with my friend Adam Miller. And Adam Miller was, and he had a band called Inner Magic. And, but Adam was in a band that, I don't know if you guys may be familiar with, they're called the Chromatics. Yeah, they were, a fairly successful, indie, kind of band on the indie scene. Yeah. And, really cool. Yeah. And so we just through mutual friends, like we started becoming friends, and so he had actually put out like an instrumental guitar record in the vein of things like Vinnie Riley from Durutti Column, which was a Factory Records artist as well, and Michael Rother from Noi, and this kind of more alternative indie style of like instrumental guitar music that kind of existed in like the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. So he put out a record like that. So I had suggested at one point, said, why don't we should try to play some shows together. So we actually played a show together out here in December of 2020, 2025. Yeah, we play, or 2024. I'm sorry, 2024. It's because it's coming. I'm like, wait, we time traveled.
Yeah, I know. You've been borrowing the time machine.
I know. And so but when we did that show together, I said, why don't we play together at the end and do something with vocals? Like, so kind of, I think that'll be fun. So we actually did a Spaceman 3 cover called Feeling Just Fine. And it was just so fun to do. It was so cool. We did this, kind of cool, psyched out. It was already a psychedelic kind of song, but we did our own kind of spin on and take on it. And it was just really fun. And so after the show, a couple weeks after the show, I emailed him or texted. I said, hey, you know what? Let's record that. Let's actually do a version of that and record it, because let's not let a good thing go to waste, whatever. We'll see what happens. So he started coming over to the house, and we did that and recorded it and kind of got to the end of it. And then I was like, what else you got? And he's like, well, I got this song. We just started recording other songs. So we've been working off and on throughout the year. So like basically I want to say it's kind of like a very organic new band project that's kind of like the new thing, like musically, that I'm really sinking my teeth into for things that are like more like your traditional, like quote unquote rock band style music. So we have about, I don't know, 8 to 10 songs done. And I think that we'll probably start releasing stuff early next year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So me and Adam Miller from the Chromatics, I don't know. We haven't completely settled on a name yet, but, so we're still, I'm not going to say anything, because if it changes, by the time next year rolls around, then, but maybe Vampire might be good.
Yeah. Yeah. In
Right.
French.
In French, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I like it. At least make a song with that title. Oh my gosh, that would be the best thing ever.
But then also, I've done a record so on top of that, I'm very into doing like my own kind of solo work that's more just left of center experimental kind of stuff. Because I really do, just as a musician, I love like experimenting with the guitar in that way. Mm-hmm. And so I've actually made a record with William Cashian from Future Islands. It's a duo record, just the two of us. And that's very much a spacey ambient guitar record. And that's 99% done. We just like a few final, changes, but that's basically done. And then I'm working on another actual solo. I think I'm just going to do a solo EP of guitar music as well. So that's kind of what I'm up to in that realm of things. So I'm just really happy doing that stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It sounds like you have been, well, I mean, I know that you've been very busy. You shared that with us. But the way that you kind of were setting it up is like you're instantly in this weird, like, sort of void of things happening, coming off of touring forever and ever.
Yeah.
But you filled your time with a lot of very, very creative things to, give you outlets, it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like the band with Adam though is like that's like it's conventional music.
Yeah.
Like everything else is kind of left of center, like experimental kind of stuff. But this stuff is like,
Yeah.
it's pretty synth heavy, to be honest. Because I think that we're both super into Kraftwerk and German krautrock stuff. So that was kind of the initial inspiration.
Yeah.
But there's still a guitar on every song. I don't want to say that there's not, but it's not like a heavy band. Like we're using all vintage drum machines and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, you've on at least when you were still with Punkas, all the little things you were kind of touching on outside of that were definitely tapping into synthy bits and using the guitar like as a synth. I mean, that was you did some really cool stuff even before you left.
That's true. That is now, that's true. I think I don't know why, like every time I try to do stuff that's just more straight up, like it just doesn't feel like I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't feel like where I'm at. And I think a lot of it has to do with circumstances, because if I could record drums at home, maybe I would.
Yeah.
But like whatever, I still live in LA is a very like I have a house, but I don't I have neighbors still. You know what I mean? Drums are just like, I mean, that's a whole other.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't ever. I can't do drums here. So I think I'm like, well, let's use this drum machine.
Yeah.
And, what I mean? So, it's interesting because we found in working that, I used to use a lot of plugins and software stuff, but on this record, it's very like we're using almost all hardware stuff.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to an interesting point because you were like, obviously what you were doing on stage for so long and now shifting into what you're doing, I'm assuming you've switched up quite a lot of your actual guitar gear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So are you still like, what is the actual guitar that you've been using most often, or have you switched those up at all? Where you are with guitars?
Yeah, my main electric is my, I'm trying to think, it's probably a 2023 Nash.
Oh.
It's basically their 60s Strat. And it's rosewood fingerboard, but just 3 single coil pickups, Lawler. They put Lawlers in there, and it's just a fantastic guitar. The first electric guitar I ever had was a Strat copy. So there's something about the Strat just feels comfortable to me. Like, I don't know, like it's just, and I love the pickup configuration and just all the sounds. I find it to be the most versatile and expressive guitar design. When we did the shows with Glass Bow, I actually played a Jazz Master, for old time's sake, and it worked really well in that band. Like the Strat just didn't sound right for that, or anything with humbuckers just didn't sound right. But for for my solo tour that I went on in July, I could only take one guitar, and so I took the Nash, and it's just such a great guitar. It just works so well, and it stays in tune, and just a really good guitar.
So with the stuff that you're doing with the new upcoming album that you've been talking about, is that does your 4 on the floor apply to that, or is that a whole different set of things?
That's just dependent on what the track is. And so I've used everything from like I love the TC 2290 delay pedal. Have that pedal they came out with a few years ago?
2290 TC 2290. I'm gonna look that up while you're.
Yeah, that's on there. A lot of like a vintage Japanese DS1 Direct.
That actually looks like a drum machine.
Yeah. I used the Echo Rec or the Echo Bell. I'm sorry, the Bell Epoch.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Catlin Bread.
That was on. I think that was actually on your very first Four on the Floor.
Yeah. I mean, I have the deluxe one too, the big one, and the small. But I actually use the small one more sometimes, because I've been using that. What else? I'm trying to look. What else is? Oh, you know what I got, which I love too, is I got the MXR, the Rockman pedal.
Oh yeah,
New one, yeah.
Yeah, and so I've used that a few times. So the studio stuff is just kind of really track dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, but live when I play too, I can't take. I wish I could take my Rev half stack or a Marshall, but I take a Fender Deluxe now. Now I'm to the, and with Glassbow I use 2 Fender Deluxes because I like to, if I can, I like to play stereo.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and actually in the William Cassie and I have played some duo shows, and we both used the Roland JC40.
Okay,
jazz chorus.
Yeah, the jazz chorus.
Wild. Is it weird for you to go? I mean, it has to be, at least from the outsider's mind, like you going from massive everything to small.
For sure, of course. But I really look at like my musical heroes, and and in one way you could totally bum out and be like, oh my God, I can't believe like I used to have a guitar tech and now I'm schlepping my own gear and I can only take 1 guitar, 2 guitars, and you know what I mean? Like you start having to do all this stuff. But I've throughout my life, like I look at like a lot of my guitar heroes like Thurston Moore or Lee Ronaldo from Sonic Youth, and I've seen those guys so many times post Sonic Youth where they're playing. Like I saw Lee Ronaldo one night at a club in Chicago, and there was like maybe like 40 people, like on a cold. It was a cold winter night, though. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, he's just out here doing it. You know what I mean? He's not worried about like, hey, I used to play. I headlined Lollapalooza in 1997 or whatever. He's like, hey, it's like I'm here and now and I'm playing. And I think that's just kind of how you have to be with it. You can't think too much about like, oh my God, like I deserve something different or something better, because like as a musician, if you want to go and you want to express something, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course though, I'd be lying to say that it hasn't crossed my mind, but I really try. I just try not to think about it too much.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you'll ever go back to the big stage?
It would have to be the right circumstance, because what is amazing about my time in the Smashing Pumpkins was that I got to do everything from, headline festivals to play arenas to late night TV shows, make an album with Rick Rubin, like do all these things that people think of. So to do it at a, like a lesser degree that isn't like, I don't mind doing things to a lesser degree if it's my, like my own kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say like, it's like my music, but like to go play someone else's music again it's hard to explain to someone, that if you're not there, to go like, well, why wouldn't you want to do those things? And it's like, well, I really did value it. But at some point
I did for the long time.
But I looked at it like, hey, I'm turning 50. And I think this actually had a lot to do with it, as I was turning 50. And I said, I can only really play the guitar at a high level. Like how many more years? Yeah. 10 years, 15 years, right? Or even maybe it's not like it's not like you have the, as you guys know from getting old, it's not like, hey, you have the rest of your life. It's like, well, actually you don't, to do certain things. And so I said, well, if I don't make a decision to go and pursue other interests, I'll never get a chance to do those things.
Yeah.
And so I think that has really had a lot to do with it as well. And
Do you
yeah,
think,
and yeah.
do you think that how much did the idea of time, not your age, but time in a day that you kind of weren't able to do anything on an
Well,
average day as compared to saying I can do whatever I want to do today?
well, other than I got to walk my dog and take out the trash and pick clean the leaves up in the yard. I mean, you got to do all kind. I mean, but I know what you mean. Being on tour is tough because you're 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 limited in what you can do. But thank God for technology that you can actually do a lot. And I have to say, because I don't want to make it sound too rough, like when you tour with the Smashing Pumpkins, it's as easy as it gets. I mean, there's only a few bands, a few ticks higher where it's even like, wow, like they fly everywhere, private jet. You know what I mean? Like they literally show up, play the gig, get off stage, go back to the private airport, and like go back to their hotel in like New York instead of staying in Philly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's like a whole other level of like comfort and stuff. But I mean, we have in the Pumpkins, you have a really, really good and so if I I always had a guitar with me. I always had my laptop. So you could do things, but it's just a lot of times I'm on tour. It's hard to do stuff even if you want to, because even under good conditions, you're dealing with a lot of broken sleep.
Yeah.
And as you get older, that's the hardest part is, okay, like you finish a gig at 11, get on the bus at midnight, say you only have a 4 or 5 hour drive, you drive to the next hotel. So you maybe slept for 3 hours, then you have to get up out of the bus, go to your room, sleep another. So you had like this broken sleep. So you're always trying to catch up. You know what I mean? So even if you're like, there's all this stuff I want to do, you're like, man, I need to actually just sleep as much as I can today so I don't get sick. So I'm clear and focused when we play. So I think that's the hard thing, about being on tour and trying to accomplish stuff, is that it's just the fatigue of moving around space, no matter how luxurious it is tough. So, I like it. And I think another thing that I should, because sometimes, I really appreciate you guys asking these questions, because, I don't sit here and try to I think about like anything negative to do with being in the Pumpkins, and so I don't ever want to come off as sounding like that, because I'm so thankful and grateful for the opportunity. People be like, why would you leave something like that? But I think I didn't join that band. I was already 33 years old when I joined the band. I had a life and I had a trajectory, and I was at graduate school at UCLA getting a doctorate in comparative literature. I was preparing to be a professor, and this came into my life and completely changed the trajectory of it. So I look at it more of like I wanted to go back and start getting in and re-pursuing some of the things that I wanted, that I was already doing.
Yeah. It's so weird when you put it like that, because if you think about what we've touched on, okay, including what you just said, right? I'm going to learn how to master maybe arguably the most technical way to play a guitar. I'm going to learn how to master the second most technical way to play the guitar. I'm going to pursue being a doctorate. And then in the midst of that, you became, you jumped into rock star status and basically had to do kind of, and this isn't diminishing what you were doing, but you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again for many, many years. And again, I'm not trying to oversimplify that, but just trying to draw it's almost like diametrically opposed to like all the other things that you have pursued in life.
Well, I think that, I mean, hey, look, it was a great opportunity, and so I took it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, hey, man, like if this comes into your world,
Yeah, you can't say no.
Yeah, and I worked really hard. I had to work really hard to get it because I wasn't like I was an indie musician. I didn't. I had to learn how to be a professional, and luckily Billy and Jimmy were gracious enough to let me. I think what they saw was that I was willing to work hard to get there, but it took me a few years to get to like even feel comfortable in that. It was like uncomfortable the first couple of years just because it was just also over my head. It's funny, when my first guitar tech, Jason Baskin, sent me, we were talking on texting the other day, and he sent me a clip of us playing at the Fillmore in 2007 doing the song Gossamer. And the version, it was 33 minutes long that night. It's like this, and I watched myself and I see my body, and I was just like no stage presence, just then because I knew we were recording, and we were recording only 2 shows, and I knew I'm like, okay, like I'm just gonna stand here. I mean? I don't want to be the one that like plays, and it's like a 3-hour show. You know what I mean? So I had never played more than 40 minutes at the time. You know what I mean? So like going to play like, when you're a club band, right? You play like 35, 40 minutes.
Right.
You're playing like 3-hour shows. You're recording, making a DVD. I was just deer in the headlights. You know what I mean? So I see myself, and that's not. And I'm when I see footage of when I left the band, completely different person because I had grown into that role. So I think I really loved that, and I loved the fact that I was growing in a different way than say what I was doing before. But at the same time, it wasn't my band. I did, it's Billy's band. Smashing Pumpkins is from Billy's imagination, and he's created this juggernaut of a thing. Yeah. But it's and the band existed for 10, 15 years before I joined. So you're walking into something that already is structured and has an aesthetic, and you're trying to fit into what is already there. It's not like, hey, we're going to do the things the way that I want to do them. It's like, that would be preposterous, is of course, like, and you're playing a lot of catalog material. And so I think that while I was learning how to grow and be a professional guitar player, I think I was very satisfied doing that. Yeah. But then, 17 years later, you're like, wow, like I have, like I said, I was 33 when I joined the band. I had a life and dreams and goals and aspirations that I wanted to do. So I think it looks weird. Like you're like, oh, like you used to do this and now you're doing like that and you're playing but it's like, I'm not trying to replace what I was doing before, and I think, and I can say this 2 years later, because if you asked me a year ago, I might have said something completely different because I was still trying to figure it out. But like I said, I think that now I'm like, oh, Jeff, you have this like academic side that you really love. And so for me, studying something like the classical guitar and maybe pursuing a graduate degree in something like that is really in line with what I was doing before, because I love to do research. I love to understand like what's going on here. How would you analyze this piece? How would you write about this piece? So along with being a musician, I really love doing those things as well. Yeah. And so I think that I've been always looking for a framework and a paradigm that would allow me to do those things. But that's, like I said, that's not that easy to do. So I'm like trying to figure it out.
I'm really glad, that I asked a question where I was dead wrong on, and number 2, that you explained that so well, because it actually, you did like master a whole new thing. And I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about like once you had gotten past the hard part of trying to master that, where you just ended up on the back side of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, and I mean, being in the band was like, you can't pay for that kind of education. I mean, like, I think many people talk about it in that way. When you see Steve Vai talk about playing with Frank Zappa, he was like, man, he went to Berklee College of Music, but he left because he's like, I get to play with Frank Zappa. This is,
Yeah.
he's like, I basically got paid to learn how to be a great musician. I mean, he was already a great musician, but I think, he was, Frank obviously pushed him to new heights because he saw the potential of what he was able to do. And I look at it very much the same way. As I am so grateful that they gave me the chance and opportunity, because I wasn't that musician when I joined the band. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I was, like I said, I was willing to put in the work, but I needed a lot of work. I just had never done that stuff. I'd never played in front of that many people, never played with amps that loud. And, just it's a lot to negotiate, you know?
Yeah. Wow. I'm really glad that you explained all that and didn't just, let that fall by the wayside. Well, I have so many more questions, but
let's save it for number 10.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And honestly, I've got an idea, but we'll deal with that later. But thank you so much for sharing all that, man. It's so good.
My
pleasure.
To you. My pleasure.
Yeah. Tony Baloney.
Yes, Todd Lee.
Let's do it, man.
Todd.
Would you rather?
What were you saying?
I was saying there's a little game that we like to play called Would You Rather?
Yes.
But you beat me to
Aptly named.
What's amazing is that button actually had that on there.
I know.
Amazing.
Okay.
In honor of Jeff's 9th appearance.
Yes.
We kind of crafted a Would You Rather around that theme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so excited for this.
So.
It's Tony. Take it easy.
Yeah. So. You have an opportunity to visit this new crazy guitar builder.
Okay.
He names his company Too Many Strings Guitars.
Okay.
Too Many Strings.
Okay.
And because this is Jeff's 9th appearance, he's going to build a 9-string guitar.
Yes. Okay.
Now.
You have one.
No, I have an 8-string.
Oh, okay.
Baritone. Acoustic.
So silly.
It is silly, but I love it.
All right.
So you can have one version of a 9-string guitar that is 9 strings, literally. It's a D, G, B, E, A, D, G, B, E. Get that?
Uh-huh.
Repeat it back to me.
No.
I knew he didn't get it. Or you can have a 9-string guitar that is set up like a standard 6-string, except it has an octave pair on the E, A, and D string.
Okay.
Which would you rather?
All right. What is the format of this? What is the form of this guitar, I should say?
The form of the guitar is a Strat. No.
Form of Stratocaster.
No.
Shape of. Yeah.
Shape of.
I had to explain that to somebody the other day, by the way. The Wonder Twins.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they're like, what? Because, anyways.
The Wonder Twins.
That was a weird thing to try to explain to somebody.
Yeah, that was
Let
a
me tell
weird
you that.
show, period.
Okay.
So this is going to be an electric guitar.
Well, I figured that much.
Yes.
But, like, do we have a form factor here? Is it a Strat? Is it a...
Yes, it's going to be a Strat.
It's a 9-string telly?
Yeah. No, it's a 9-string Strat.
Okay.
I mean, we could go with the Vox 9-string like Billy has.
You mean the teardrop?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
What do you think, Jeff?
No, make it a breadwinner.
Oh, a breadwinner. Oh, boy.
9-string breadwinner. That's it.
Okay, 9-string
Ovation
breadwinner.
Yes. Go ahead, Tony.
I would be totally lost on a 9 separate strings. So I'm going with the octave pairs on the E, A, and D. And I think that actually kind of would be kind of a cool guitar because you could do the octavey stuff on those strings and still have, you can do a little wow, wow, wow on the upper strings.
Nice.
You like how I did that?
Yeah.
Want to hear it again?
Nope. Okay, Jeff, what are you doing?
I think I would also do the 6 strings with the pair on the E, A, and D. Same thing. I actually have one 7-string guitar, and even that is confusing. You know what I mean? Having that extra. So I think 9.
Coming from you, that is that's kind of wild to hear.
See, I kind of had you picked for someone who would want the challenge.
No, see, that's the thing is I'm a traditionalist in that way. I just want the 6 strings. You know what I mean? So having the octave pair, that's because I play a ton of 12-string electric. I have 2 that, and I use it on this record I'm making. I use it a ton.
Yeah.
So having a guitar where, like as Tony said, where you can play some hot leads as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're on to something there.
Well, considering this is going to end up
wait a minute.
This is going to end up in a competition. So your guitar is going to be strung upside down, Jeff. I'm sorry. That's the only way that's going to be fair.
What if I throw in fan frets on the 9 separate strings?
And microtone frets?
Yes, microtonal guitar. Come on.
Okay, well, I'm doing the same thing you guys are doing because screw 9 separate strings.
All right. That was easy.
All right, pretty
relatively
fun.
speaking.
Yes.
I mean, just those. I've probably tried I've gone to Guitar Center and picked up like an 8-string or something here and there. Mm-hmm. Tried it, and it's just so crazy. Like the neck, it's just I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just too wide.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But.
You definitely got to run. If you have that guitar, you got to run it through a Tony Baloney pedal.
Well, of course.
There you go.
Is there any other kind?
Yeah, that's the only pedal that can handle that many.
Yeah, it actually says that on the back. I can't believe nobody's seen this before.
For use with 9 strings or higher.
All right. Well, we need to say thanks to a handful of people here, Tony.
Yes, we do, because
then Jeff's got to walk his doggy.
Yes, indeed. And
feed him. No,
feed him.
I walked him before. But he's going to eat.
All right, excellent. What do you feed him?
He's a prince, so he gets a food delivery service because he was getting a lot of skin allergies and stuff through. Yeah. So he gets actually human grade food. So he has that comes and there's a turkey, pork, and chicken. Yeah. And then I add this thing is called raw vibrance, and it looks like freeze-dried leaves and has broken eggshells and crazy stuff, but it's all very healthy stuff for him. So
nice.
Once he started eating that, I have to say all his rashes went away.
Wow.
Well, that's good to know.
But he sneaks Little Debbie's when you're not looking.
Yeah.
I don't know what
stash of Twinkies down underneath the bed.
He does. I mean, I know.
Well, Todd, as we were saying,
yes,
there's a special group of people we love to thank at this point of the show. These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become one? Head over to patreon.com/The Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate. Become a sponsor, a friend, a hero of the podcast.
Truly.
Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts and opportunities to win great stuff. Oh, and opportunities to get Guitar Knobs t-shirts too.
Yeah.
All the good stuff. But I'm told there's one thing more. What would that be?
You get to have your name read on the thing.
Your name read on the thing. Oh, you haven't heard the new Jared, have you?
You have one of those, it's like those little rectangular things with a bunch of buttons and you can do all these little one-shots, basically.
Yep.
No.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You could definitely into pro. I don't think you guys had that when I was in the studio last time.
You never know. We might have. But anyhow, so You get to have your name read on thing. That's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers: Anthony Lathrop, Brett Hogarth, Cameron Pampas, Darren Gregory, Don Kloss, Elad Mizrahi, James Bell, James White, John Esterly from Reverb, John Sebastian, John Halverson, Justin Jones, Ken Sayers, Michael Senchuk, Mike Davenport, Owen Eads, Pluton, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology, Richard Kendall, Rick Calhoun, Rusty Sneeden, Stefan Lamb, Tom Barazin, Trevor Ellenberg, Trevor Gunberg, Vader and Pedals, Caribou Gone, and Ed Rossler.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, goody.
There's another special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. These are the creme de la creme, the top of the heap, the A number ones, and they wear a fez upon their head whilst listening to this podcast. So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs. Anthony Gemalero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Bob Crouch, Brian Robinson, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando, Fox Hill Studio, Gregory Randall, Hex Matos, John Williams, Martin Cliff, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zant, Michio Murakishi, Moon Guitars, Pedro Vasquez, Sam Jett, Steve Keys, James Pennington, Zach Oswald from Brandon Wound Pickups, Jonathan Labate from M2 Labs, Ty Barnes, James Castellano, and Kenny Howe.
All right. Thank you all so very much. I was thrilled to death to be able to send out quite a few packages this last weekend, and we can't do it without you. So if you've been thinking about it, if you enjoyed this episode, consider helping us out.
Yeah. It's a nice thing to do.
Yes, and Jeff will think nice thoughts of you.
Yes.
Of course.
While he's walking his dog. All right, Jeff. Well, like we said, thank you so very much for sharing this time with us. We love talking with you, and this was, I think, the best episode we've had with you.
Oh, wow. I mean, I always have a great time, so when you asked me, I was like, I'm in.
Fantastic. I love that.
No, I just want to say too, I really appreciate you guys, thinking of me and supporting me and just, being such gracious hosts all the time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you very kindly.
Thanks.
That was much appreciated. Where can people find the things you're doing?
Mostly, honestly, because I've been Instagram. Instagram is the easiest way.
Okay.
I mean, I could say I don't want to get into Instagram.
Yeah. Done.
I'm easy to find.
Okay.
No TikTok?
It's a private account.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. That means he is doing the dances. All right. Tony, about yourself.
Head over to pickguardian.com.
Yes.
Jeez, I couldn't say that for some reason. Check out the stuff that I do. What do I do, Todd?
You make pick guards for people.
I make custom pick guards for guitars.
Custom pick guards for guitars.
So you want one? Shoot me an email. Let me know what you're trying to do, what you need, what pickups you're using, what material you want, all the stuff. I'll make something special for you. Todd likes to say, it's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
Indeed. That's going to go on your new website.
Yes.
All right. You can shoot me a DM on Instagram. Love to hear your thoughts. What'd you think of this show? Tell us. And love to hear what kind of gear you're into and all the other good stuff. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic guitar week. And subscribe!
Boom.
But what's interesting is...
I want my own fader.
You do get your own fader once this is over.
That's pretty good.
That's very respectable.
I was just going to say respectable.
We were about to take a jacket away.
Mm-hmm. I've got it. I've got it already. I've got it already.
Damn it.
You really went for it there, didn't you?
37.
Don't give it. You count with your fingers.
I know, but I'm just saying I don't have that one.
I'm
old school, man.
Yeah, apparently.
I know. I got you.
All right, let's do this. And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.